Our story starts in the year 2011. We meet our lovely female lead, AEG, who is happily holding a camera. For AEG, capturing moments, taking photos, and recording videos is not just a hobby. It is her ultimate dream. She is living her dream life, enjoying every single second of it. But wait. Suddenly, the timeline shifts, and we jump to the year 2025. Here we see AEG and our handsome male lead, Subin, together. However, their lives are completely different from each other now. AEG still lives in Korea, trying her best to survive, while Subin lives out of the country. Both of them start their day going to work. Subin has become a highly successful director. Today, he is attending a grand award ceremony, where he receives a prestigious award. He is incredibly happy. As he holds the trophy on stage, he first gives a speech in English. But then, he switches to Korean and dedicates this special award to a friend. After the ceremony, reporters curiously ask him, "Who is this person you dedicated your award to?" With a soft smile, Subin reveals in Korean, "She is my first love." When they ask where he is headed next, he playfully says he is going out for drinks with his team, making everyone laugh. On the other hand, we see AEG working hard at a seaside, trying to catch fish and other sea creatures for a show. A camera is recording her every move. After finishing her work, she tries to walk back, but walking on the wet, muddy sand is extremely difficult. Yet, she doesn't give up. Suddenly, she slips and falls flat on the ground. The camera zooms in, recording her close-up. Instead of crying, she just lies there, laughing and moving her hands and feet in the mud. She is completely covered in dirt. After a long, tiring day, she walks back home while talking to her mother on the phone. Her mom asks if she has eaten, and she says yes. Her mom then asks about her legs, and AEG admits. "They are aching." She adds, "I think it's going to rain." Her mother lovingly laughs and says, "You predict the rain better than the Weather Channel." Reaching her house, she hangs up the phone so she can rest. AEG is so exhausted that she falls to the floor as soon as she takes off her shoes. But, being the hardworking girl she is, she gets up to wash her dirty clothes. While hanging them to dry, she sees the award show playing on TV, the same show where Subin won his award. She stands there, completely frozen, staring at the screen. Yes, guys. The first love Subin was talking about on stage was none other than R.E. On the screen, Subin looks into the camera and says, "I'm coming back to Korea to meet my first love. Are you listening to me? Are you watching me?" Hearing this, the clothes drop from her hands in shock. She immediately opens her laptop and searches his name. First, she types his old name, Subin, but nothing comes up. Then she remembers he now uses the director name, Lonwoo. When she searches that, the award video pops up. But since he speaks in English and there are no subtitles, she gets annoyed. However, she easily understands the part he spoke in Korean. Instead of being happy, she gets angry at his return and says, "Let him come back, I'm going to beat him." Subin at the airport or in a cab. "미히레, Subin lands safely in Korea." His friend calls him, complaining, "You landed in Korea and didn't even tell your fans? Didn't you want them to welcome you at the airport?" Subin calmly replies, "I don't want any of that. I just want some peace." He tells his friend to announce his arrival later and hangs up the phone. While sitting in a taxi, Subin watches the television show featuring A. A warm smile spreads across his face. The taxi driver notices and says, "Ah, I love this show too. It's so much fun." Subin proudly says, "Yes, I'm a huge fan of E." The driver smiles and says, "Everyone loves her. She is so respectful towards elders." Hearing this, Subin is overjoyed. His first love hasn't changed at all. She is still the same sweet girl. The driver then asks, "Are you staying at a hotel? You must not be from Korea." Subin looks out the window and softly says, "I used to live here a long time ago, but that's ancient history now." The workplace fight and the reunion. Visual suggestion. Split screen of AEG arguing and Subin walking into the office. The scene shifts to AEG's office, where she is having a massive, loud argument with her producer. All the employees are staring at them, but AEG refuses to back down. She yells, "I want to do something else. I don't want to do this fishing show anymore." But the producer insists she has no choice. Right at that intense moment, Subin enters the office like a true celebrity. The workers are thrilled to see him. When Subin asks where AEG is, they point towards the meeting room. Subin looks through the glass and spots AEG shouting at her producer, and he just smiles warmly at her fiery personality. Suddenly, the producer turns AEG around. She locks eyes with Subin and freezes like a statue. In panic, she quickly hides under the table. After a moment, the producer is called outside, leaving the room empty. AEG peeks out, thinking everyone, including Subin, has left. But suddenly, Subin bends down onto the table, looks her in the eyes, and says a sweet, "Hi." Startled, AEG jumps up quickly and bangs her head against the table. And this head bump instantly takes us into a beautiful flashback of their past. We go back to 2010. AEG is happily recording her surroundings when she spots Subin. She starts capturing him on camera. Sensing someone's gaze, Subin looks back and waves at her with a hi. Embarrassed, AEG instantly hides, banging her head just like she did in the present. Later, during a hot school assembly outside, the scorching heat is too much for AEG. She faints and falls to the ground. While all the other kids panic, Subin runs like the wind, picks her up, and rushes her to the nurse's room. As soon as the nurse steps out of the room, AEG sits right up. Yes, she was totally faking it. Subin is surprised. "You are awake?" AEG casually replies, "I was never unconscious. But tell me, did they cancel the assembly?" Subin tells her that the assembly has been suspended for a few weeks due to the heat. AEG happily celebrates, saying they should thank her because now they don't have to stand under the hot sun. Subin looks at her and says, "But I was genuinely worried about you." AEG asks, "Were you watching me?" Subin replies, "No, I just noticed you looked really tired." Suddenly, AEG realizes he is the same boy who waved at her earlier. Panicking, she runs away, together on the school bench. Later, they sit together, and AEG asks him about his dream. Subin says, "I don't have a dream." AEG is shocked. Everyone must have a dream. Subin then thinks and says, "Well, maybe my dream is to be a doctor because my dad, grandfather, and everyone in my family is a doctor." AEG asks if his grades are good, and he replies, "Yes, excellent." She smiles and says, "Then you will definitely be a doctor." She then excitedly tells him, "Now ask me what my dream is." Subin asks, "AEG, what is your dream?" Hearing her full name, she playfully scolds him. "Soul boys are all the same. You should never call a girl by her full name." When he asks again using her short name, she proudly declares, "I want to be a film director. Is it cool?" She is incredibly happy sharing her dream, and Subin watches her walk away with a fond smile. Wanting to capture the perfect sunset and sunrise, AEG sets up her camera on the hospital rooftop, but she ends up falling fast asleep. Subin finds her there and gently tries to wake her, but she is in a deep sleep. So, he decides to sit by her side, keeping watch until the night. When AEG finally wakes up in the middle of the night and finds Subin sleeping right next to her, she screams in terror. "Startlet!" Subin jumps up. She demands, "What are you doing here?" He replies, "This is my dad's hospital." Suddenly, they realize the security guard is on patrol. AEG grabs her camera and tells him she knows a great place to shoot. They try to sneak out, but the guard spots them. "Who are you two?" Without thinking, AEG grabs Subin's hand and they start running for their lives. They escape the hospital and run down the streets. While running, AEG's hair tie slips off and her beautiful hair falls open. Subin looks at her, completely mesmerized. As they stop and Subin slowly lets go of her hand, AEG gently hooks her little finger back into his, holding on to him a little longer. The next day, Subin is in the car with his mother. Spotting AEG on the street, he immediately stops the car and decides to walk the rest of the way to school. AEG is trying to take a picture of an old lady, but feels something is missing. Subin walks up behind her and says, "It needs a shadow." He holds up a leaf to cast a beautiful shadow on the lady's face. AEG guides him to slow down his movement and successfully takes a stunning shot. Suddenly, a drunk man walks up and starts causing trouble, pushing the poor old lady to the ground. AEG and Subin immediately rush to help her and scold the man. Furious, the drunk man grabs AEG's precious camera to throw it. Knowing how important this camera is to AEG, Subin bravely dives to protect it. He takes a harsh beating from the man, but refuses to let go of the camera. AEG tries to pull the man away, but he shoves her to the ground. Thankfully, the police arrive just in time and chase the drunk man away. Despite his painful injuries, Subin's first instinct is to check on the camera, which is slightly broken. Later, AEG gently applies medicine to Subin's wounds. Subin takis. a bandage, and lovingly wraps it around her camera to fix it. He looks at her and says, "You have something I don't have. I have everything, but I don't have a dream. Your dream is what makes you shine." AG stares at him, deeply touched. Those words meant the world to a girl who had nothing but a dream. From that day on, they spent all their time together, filming videos and even planning to make a movie together, excited to see both of their names on the screen. But EG had no idea that this beautiful dream would one day turn into a painful curse. And with that emotional memory, we transition back to the present day. Wow, what an incredible and emotional start to this drama. Why did Subin leave AEG in the past? Will she ever forgive him? We will find out all the secrets in the next episode. If you enjoyed this explanation, please give this video a like, share it with your K-drama friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss the next episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video. Bye bye.